Hey everybody, it's Nico with today's remote access ThoughtLoad, and currently it is 5:46 in the morning, and I have been driving for about 45 minutes. Didn't sleep a whole lot tonight because I didn't want to miss my wake up time, and currently in the process of moving tons of stuff from my apartment to my house. And I wanted to take this time to remind everyone what you set out on at the beginning of this year. At this point in 2023, this is like let's call it a 90-day check-in, if you will. What have you done? What are you planning to do? What have you set in motion that is going to drastically change the outcome of your year? Did you set any goals at the beginning of the year that you've put to the side? Were they goals that you truly cared about and something that you wanted to see change in? Or were they just superficial goals that you wanted to write down to fill out a list? Now, I'm asking all of these questions because I know accomplishing goals like that and staying consistent throughout the year is not easy. Many of you have tons of priorities and things to do and people to look out for, that sometimes achieving those goals is daunting. But what I would say, and what I would remind you here, is that not achieving them is going to be more painful than the feeling of procrastination, than the feeling of, I'll do it later. Because the last thing that I would want for anyone is for them to set life-changing goals at the beginning of the year only to not tackle it at all, or to totally forget about the goal, or to start working on the goal or start working on the progress for that goal 6 months after you wrote it down. Now listen, I understand that life throws us curveballs and there's things that pop up that we can't expect. I am learning a lot about that right now when it comes to home ownership and the time that it takes to complete projects and things like that. And so I'm not saying to go out there and drain all of your energy to try and get a little progress in a goal that you may have dropped the ball on. But what I am saying is to remind yourself that those goals are there. Remind yourself why you wrote them down. And remember to put yourself in that state where you're imagining what it's like when you cross the finish line and achieve the goals that you set out for yourself. That's what we're all about here. That's what we want to see in ourselves and in other people. And listen, full transparency, this ThoughtLoad is not on time. This is something I should have done a couple days ago. But as I just mentioned, lots of high priority things came up that I needed to focus on. And while I'm sure I could have found time to do this recording at some point this week, I'm doing it now. And I guess we can go with the old adage that, better late than never. But for me, I also remembered that this is something that I set out to do years ago. This podcast and everything that we talk about in here is to help people, is to help them understand that they're not alone. And so there's nothing that I can think of that's going to make me think that I should not record this, that I should not try and at least leave someone with a little nugget to help them along in their journey. And that's the same feeling I want you to remind yourself of, that same feeling that I want you to feel when it comes to reviewing your goals and seeing how you can map out the rest of this year, or heck, even the next week. Don't forget the type of emotion that you felt when you wrote down those goals. Don't forget the person that you were envisioning when you thought of accomplishing those goals. But be graceful if you're not able to complete those goals in the time that you thought it would take. Goals and tasks, I guess, are things that we will have to do our entire lives. The difference maker is how we prioritize those goals. It's what we tell ourselves about when we can complete those goals or tasks. It's about the order in which we do them. Because if we remember all of those things, we're going to complete our goals naturally. Almost through like I like to say, osmosis. If you continuously remind yourself about all of those factors, about how it felt, imagining your future state, all that stuff, you are way more likely to achieve your goals and to go after them 100% than someone who just wrote stuff down in a journal at the beginning of the year and now has it tucked away in their nightstand or something along those lines. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are trying to become. And don't forget why you're trying to do it. You are not alone. We are all in this together. And remember to keep your head down, grind it out, and don't look up until you've reached happiness. Because then at that point, if you're happy with where you're at in life and you do look up from the grind, when you look back at everything you've accomplished, you are going to be truly proud of the progress that you've made. So guys, don't stop. Don't forget what's brought you here. And don't push aside the goals and tasks that are going to take you to where you want to be. No one said this is going to be easy. But if we fight for the goals and fight for the person that we want to become in the future, we're going to be extremely happy with ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, be able to live life with a little less regret. Guys, thanks for joining me on today's Thought Load. Apologies if the audio is a little crazy since I'm in the car. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, begin the duel, win the day.